It all happened really quickly actually. I came back to Australia and I signed with Perth, and I was only there for a couple of weeks, and some things happened, and this opportunity presented itself, and it was almost too good to turn down. And anytime you get a chance to play here in the AFL and have a chance to play at the highest level in that sport, it's like I said, it was too hard to turn down in the end. I always kept my options open. I never thought that I'd have the guts to actually pull the trigger. After doing basketball for so long and putting so much into it, it was a difficult decision, and Hamish Ogilvie, who's my junior coach playing footy, he's always given me calls every now and then. You know, if I ever even thought about coming back to footy, he was the first person I needed to call. And sure enough, it was weighing in my head, and I gave him a call, and next thing I know, I'm here in Adelaide. So yeah, juggled both, and never thought I'd actually end up pulling the trigger, which I have now. He'd progress, keep tabs on my season, and every season that finished, and every time I was in Australia, he'd be on the phone asking to catch up for a coffee and hang out with mum and dad, and fly me over to Adelaide and all that kind of stuff. I always kept that pretty quiet. Obviously, with everything that was happening with basketball was my main focus, and that was the goals that I had for many, many years. But as I always said to him, I said, I'll keep the options open, I'll acknowledge what you've had to say, but at the end of the day, I think I will continue to pursue basketball. And I guess things changed. So footy runs in the family. My pop played with Melbourne in the 50s when they won their 3 premierships, so footy's always been in the blood. So I started playing Auskick when I was about 4 years old, and played South footy in Hobart for Lauderdale Bombers. We were Cats originally, then switched to the Bombers, and then went through the state program. Went to the under 16 nationals as a bottom age kid, and wasn't quite ready for the AIS yet as I was an underage kid, but the basketball scholarship presented itself, so I took that. So I played a bit of footy. It's been 8 years, so a lot to learn. A lot of things have changed since I've played, but I've got a bit of background playing. I didn't really know what to expect. I hadn't been around a footy environment for quite a while, and then coming into the highest level of the AFL, I didn't really know how the boys, especially that time of the year when they were coming into finals and everything that happened off the field with the boys. I was expecting just to kind of slot in quietly and go about my business, but the boys have been fantastic, getting around me, taking me out for dinner, you know, driving me places, walking the dogs, all that kind of fun stuff. It's almost been overwhelming. So it's an incredible culture here, and I said that if I ever did make the change back to footy, that Adelaide would be where I wanted to go. I'm not very patient. I'm quite stubborn in everything I've done, and that's the biggest thing for me, is that I want it to happen right away, but the reality is it probably won't. It's going to take some time for me to adjust again. Like I said, I've been out of the game for 8 years, so there's a few things that have changed, and the levels, obviously, from under 15 nationals up to, you know, elite AFL levels is a big step. So for me, it'll be cardio. I've played elite level sports for quite a while, but it's a completely different ball game. Footy, there's so much ground to cover, and just my skills. Like I said, I haven't touched a footy for 8 years. Those things will need to come back, but that's just two of many things that I need to do before I can play AFL footy. I've worked with the Sample guys, a long way to go until I can get up to speed with them, so obviously another step again to get to that AFL level. Starting in the forward line, hopefully, depending on what level I can get my motor to with, like I said, with building up with that cardio, maybe work towards the midfield, and obviously that means my skills have to improve as well, but working with the forwards and TG at the moment. So the reason I did come in now was to get some experience and basically do a mini pre-season before the pre-season, to get my cardio up to speed and my skills up to speed, so when I slot in with the group come November, it's as if I haven't stopped playing footy. So it's sort of a break. I'll take a couple of weeks out so I don't burn out during the pre-season, because all the boys said it's a gruelling time. 4 months worth of pre-season is not easy, so I'll take a little bit of time off, but at the same time I've only just got here, so I'm not ready to take a break yet. I'm so motivated to play AFL footy that I'm not ready to stop yet, but I'll need to. I got some interesting comments on Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff when I originally signed with the club. I guess a lot of people don't know that I've been growing my hair out for 3 years now, in honour of breast cancer. My mum was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2007. She's been battling it ever since. So I started my own fundraiser last year, and we've raised $75,000 for local hospitals in the state of New Mexico, where I was playing college basketball. So it's been a continual process. I became attached to the hair, so it keeps growing and growing. I was meant to shave it off towards the end of last year. I think, but when my foundation or my fundraiser reaches $100,000, I'll eventually shave it. So either Crows fans can get onto that, or they can have it put up with the long hair. There'll be reality checks. There'll be days a lot where I feel like I'm coming along really well, and I had a session this morning where I didn't do very well at all. So it's a patience thing, and like I said, I'm very stubborn and want to achieve as quick as I can. But the reality is it will take some time, and there are some things that I thought that would come back naturally that haven't quite come back yet, and I have to keep telling myself that I've been out for 8 years. It's quite a while. But like I said, if I continue to do the right things and I trust the process, it'll all work out.